Hi and Assalamualaikum to our beloved lecturer Dr. Aziati binti Anwar. In this video presentation, we would like to present the factor influencing the implementation of cashless payment method among students in UiTM Merbuk, Kedah.
Hello everyone, so let's begin with the introduction first. Taking from journal article written by Abdul Rais, Yusuf, Sabtu and Shamsul Bahrain 2022, the term cashless economy refers to a type of business where digital payment methods are used instead of cash. Means that payments can be made using a mobile wallet, a credit card or an online banking service. Moreover, according to the Ahmad, Arifuzaman, Mamun and Olid 2021, the most common way to spend money in Malaysia is with e-money, which is done an average of 58.4 times per person, and the internet banking is used an average of 18.7 times per person in total. For our problem statement of this study, the transition from traditional payment methods based on actual cash to electronic payment is the world's main agenda for cost reductions in order to give client with the safest, most convenient and finest service possible. Students nowadays are more competent in learning new technology as well as payment application. As such, previous studies have shown a lack of knowledge in finding out factors of using cashless payment method and the effects of using it. Furthermore, raised issue on the reason of the students choose to use cashless payment methods is because it is more convenient and more secure. Hence, the goal of this study is to specifically examine the students who wish to standardize this type of payment at university to make their lives simpler. Next, we decided to develop this research question for our study. The first one is what is the relationship between the convenience and the implementations of cashless payment method? The second one is what is the relationship between the security level of cashless payment methods and the implementations of cashless payment methods? The third one is what is the relationship between the social influence and the implementations of cashless payment methods? And the last one is what is the relationship between lifestyle compatibility and the implementations of cashless payment methods? Our research objectives are to find out the relationship between the convenience and the implementations of cashless payment methods, and the second one is to determine the relationship between the security level of cashless payment methods and the implementations of cashless payment methods, and the third one is to identify the relationship between the social influence and the implementations of cashless payment method as well, and the last one is to examine the relationship between lifestyle compatibility and the implementations of cashless payment methods. So, for method of analysis, the method used for this study is survey through Google form.
Next, we move to the summary of literature review of prominent scholars only. As we can see here, this is the research framework of this study. We use a conceptual framework. The framework consists of 4 independent variables, which are convenience, security level, social influence, and lifestyle compatibility. The implementation of cashless payment methods is the dependent variable. The figure shows the relationship between independent variables and dependent variables. Now I will explain the definition and findings of all variables from the previous studies. First definition is of the dependent variable. Cashless transactions refer to the use of electronic medium for conducting monetary transactions which involve the process of making or receiving payments without the physical exchange of currency. Next, we move to the independent variables. Convenience can be defined as the comfort and ease with which something is used when someone has confidence in it and the belief in a hassle-free and convenient method. Second, security level can be defined as a measurement of a person's sense of security in accessing or supplying sensitive information on the web. Third, the term social influence refers to an individual's estimation of the degree to which the opinions of those around them affect their decision to use a digital wallet. The last one is lifestyle compatibility. It can be defined as the natural tendency to adopt new technologies based on their daily routines and the products they buy, which reduce the likelihood of a user's meaning, experiences, lifestyle, and preferences. According to past studies, all the independent variables have a significant relationship with the dependent variables.
Now, I will explain on the collation data method. The process of disturbing and collecting the questionnaire are conducted by using Google Form. The reason of using form is because it is time-saving, cost-effective, and convenient. Respondent can answer the questionnaire through mobile device or web browser. It is not involving any face-to-face interaction as it is time-consuming to interview the student one by one.
The sampling technique that we choose in order to determine the sample size of this study is simple random sampling. UiTM Cawangan Kedah serve as the primary focus of this research project sample frame. The study implemented a general principle to compute the sample size due to inability to accrue the precise data for the population size for full-time students at UiTM Kedah. In obtaining the best sample size in multiple regression analysis, the said sample size should be at least 10 times or more the number of variables in this study. The size of the sample is determined by using Craigie and Morgan 1970 based on the population size. Craigie and Morgan made a table with a sample size formula for a finite population to make it easier to figure out the sample size for a finite population.
The research has been conducted to know the intention in the use of cashless transactions among UiTM Kedah students. Quantitative method has been used as the empirical assessment consists of numerical measurement and analysis. Descriptive research being conducted in this analysis to describe what a phenomenon is like and the settings and circumstances of the cause.
Now I will explain on the data analysis. Once the collection of all data from the respondent will be done, the data analysis procedure starts. Data will be coded and then examined after the completion of the questionnaire collection. Moreover, the data were analyzed and research issues were addressed by using the statistical package for social science SPSS for Windows. For this study, the researcher will use SPSS for Windows to carry out multiple regression correction analysis, reliability analysis, descriptive analysis, and frequency distribution analysis to ensure all the information collected is accurate. The first, the frequency of distribution. The frequency of distribution is to understand respondent profile which lists the respondent trait to respondents. The characteristic of each category will be analyzed using descriptive statistics that display frequency and percentage. Secondly, descriptive analysis. It is a quantitative field to describe the essential characteristic of information gathering. Instead of going into great detail to look into the population that should be the sample of data, it seeks to summarize a relatively survey. Hence, it does not solely depend on the probability theory. Central tendency measurement, which include mean, median, and mode, as well as variability of or dispersion measure, which include regular variables, sometimes referred to as a variance minimums and maximum value variable, are a few of the techniques that are typically used for characterizing a collection of data. Third, reliability test. The measurement of a test that is executed flawlessly is known as a reliability test. If the test measures what is supposed to be assessed with accuracy, consistency, and stability, it is regarded as dependable. Among the predictors, the Cronbach-Alpha statistical test is most frequently used to assess dependability. Next, Pearson correlation. Pearson correlation is used to determine the relationship in linear regression or between two continuous variables. Next, multiple regression analysis. It is the best strategy to apply if there are two or more independent variables in the set and one continuous dependent variable. It is used to predict the value of a predictor by using the value of multiple separate predictors. The goal of this research is to examine the link between the predictor and a single outcome variable. Next, data cleaning. The act of reviewing all of the results from respondent is what is known as the data cleaning procedure. Identify data error include things like missing value, outlier, and the answer that is straight lining. Before moving on to more in-depth analysis, it is critical to complete this process because it will guarantee that all of the data is accurate. Last part for data analysis is determination of goodness fit of data. Firstly, reliability. Reliability is a key consideration when evaluating measuring tool in research. It will be able to increase openness and lessen the possibility of bias in the study. All study measurement will provide consistency and access to an excellence of a measure. The term reliability refers to a measurement equipment producing consistent result of equal value. In research, it is referred to as measurement of consistency, accuracy, readability, and trustworthiness. Secondly, validity. There are 4 validity included: factorial validity, criterion related, convergent validity, and discriminant validity. Firstly, factorial validity. It is possible to determine it by submitting the data for a factor analysis. The finding of factor analysis, a multivariate approach, will validate if the postulated dimension appear or not. Next, criterion related. The validity of a measure can be established by assessing its ability to distinguish between persons who are known to be different. Next, convergent validity. It may be established when two distinct sources respond for the same measure with a high degree of correlation. Discriminant validity. The objective of discriminant validity are to investigate the link between latent variables. It is an essential strategy that must be used to avoid multi-correlative difficulties.
Now we go to the first stage of analysis, which are validity tests and reliability tests. Now, the Bilet test of sphericity must be significant, and KMO measure of sampling adequacy must be greater than 0.5. In this case, KMO is 0.884 and Bilet implies 0.000. Therefore, the validity of this test is valid. For reliability, we can see all the results of the variable in the Cronbach alpha table are above 0.7, and it means that the whole of this study is acceptable.
I will explain on the second stage. Profile of respondent description demographic analysis. In this section of the report, a descriptive analysis using the frequency approach is performed on the demographic information provided by the respondent. The data collected from the population in this study are divided into 5 categories, which is age, gender, education level, faculty, and part. The first part of the demographic profile is age. 4 groups have been used to identify the age of the UiTM Merbuk students. The majority age is at range 21 until 24 years old. Out of 102 respondents, 62 are in the range 20 until 24 years old, while 28 of them are at the range of age 17 until 20 years old. 4 of the respondents are aged from 34 until 28 years old. Range at the age 29 above is 8 respondents with 7.8%. Second, gender. Out of 102 respondents, 82.4% of them is female, while 18% respondents are male. Third, education level. In this study, students from UiTM Merbuk can be diploma, degree, or master. However, most of the respondents are students from degree level. Based on the result, degree education level hold the higher percentage at 62.7%, which is 64 respondents, while the diploma education level is 35.3% with the 36 respondents. Lastly, the least number of respondents is from master education level, which is only 2% with 2 respondents out of 102 respondents. Next, faculty. In UiTM Merbuk, there is 6 faculty in total, which is accounting, administrative science and policy studies, art and design, business and management, computer and mathematical science, and information management. The majority of the respondents is from faculty business management, which is 68%, with 66.7% respondent, while 12 with 17.11% of respondents is from faculty information management. For faculty art and design, there are 4% of respondents. However, for faculty accounting, administrative science and policy studies, and faculty and computer and mathematical science, each of them has only 6 respondents. The last is part. There is 7 part of students from UiTM Merbuk. The highest total is the student from Part 5. There is 42 respondents are students from Part 5, while 26 respondents from Part 1. Besides that, with 11.7 with the percentage of 2.9%, 3 respondents are from Part 3. However, for Part 6 and 7, each of them has 4 respondents. The second part of the stage 2 is descriptive analysis. Variability in a set of data can be summarized by a single number known as the standard deviation. It is a measure of the average dispersion of outlying data points from the mean. When values are smaller, it means that the data points tend to converge around the mean, suggesting that the values in the data are rather constant. On the other hand, larger numbers indicate greater dispersion around the mean. Dissimilarities in data value increase and the likelihood of outlier rises. The table shows the variation in data with reference to standard deviation value. The standard deviation value is 18.45 and the variance is 340. It means the data can be deviated in positive up to 359.03. On the other hand, in negative, it can be 332.13. If the measure of sample from a wider population, then the average or mean of the sample will be, and the more likely it is that any sample mean is close to the population mean. A small approximation of the population mean, the smaller the standard error, the less the spread standard error is thus a good thing.
Next, we move to the third phase of data analysis, which is answering the research objectives or hypothesis statements. As we can see in the first table, under correlation analysis, there is a positively weak uphill correlation between convenient and cashless payment methods, with the R value is 0.330, while the R value for security is 0.672, which shows that it has a positively moderate uphill correlation with cashless payment methods. Social influence and cashless payment methods also have positively moderate uphill correlation, with the R value is 0.653. For the live compatibility and cashless payment method, there is a positively moderate uphill correlation with the R value of 0.602. All the relationships are significant at the 0.000, therefore the results indicate that all the hypotheses are supported. Next, we move to the multiple regression analysis. For the model summary table, the results show are the multiple correlation coefficient indicates 0.740, where a large value indicates a strong relationship between variables, while the R square of 0.558 implies that all the independent variables explain 55.8% of the variance in the dependent variable. 44.2% or the variance in the cashless payment method is not explained by the independent variables in this study. Next, based on the ANOVA table, the value of F, which is 30.658 with a p-value of 0.00, indicates significant. This means that there is a relationship between independent variables and dependent variables. The last table is the coefficient table. Based on the table, the security makes the strongest contribution to the implementation of a cashless payment methods with the largest beta coefficient, followed by social influence. Both have a p-value of 0.000, which shows that there is a significant relationship with the implementation of cashless payment methods. In contrast, convenient and lifestyle compatibility does not contribute to the implementation of cashless payment methods, as their p-value is 0.772 and 0.275 respectively, which is higher than 0.050. Therefore, it's explained that convenient and live compatibility are not related with cashless payment methods.
Now, we move to the last chapter of this presentation. Alright everyone, let's take a look at the table regarding the research objective and hypothesis here. The first objective is to find out the relationship between the convenience and the implementation of cashless payment method. The result in this study shows that it is not reliable to the previous studies. In contrast, the study of Sayati, Hazam, Zulkifli and Rahim in 2022 found out that there is a significant relationship between the convenience and the intention of cashless transaction. Thus, we can see that the hypothesis is unsupported and the research objective is not achieved. The second objective is to determine the relationship between the security level of the cashless payment method and the implementation of cashless payment method. The result in this study is consistent with the previous studies. The study of Muni Krishnan in 2022 indicates that the security level has a significant relationship to the implementation of the cashless payment method. Therefore, we can see that the hypothesis is supported and the research objective is achieved. The third objective is to identify the relationship between the social influences and the implementation of cashless payment methods. The result in this study is consistent with the previous studies. Pan in 2022 and Shan in 2021 claims that social influence significantly impact the implementation of cashless payment methods. Therefore, we can see that the hypothesis is supported and the research objective is achieved. The fourth objective is to examine the relationship between lifestyle compatibility and the implementation of cashless payment methods. The result shows that there is no significant relationship between lifestyle compatibility and the implementation of cashless payment methods. It is contradicting with the previous study of Munikarshanan, Manun, Zin, Chian, and Nazdan in 2022, which states that lifestyle compatibility has a strong and positive impact on the implementation of cashless payment methods. Thus, we can see that the hypothesis is unsupported and the research objective is not achieved. Alright everyone, since the analysis conducted shows that convenience and lifestyle compatibility are insignificant with the implementation of cashless payment methods, there are certain actions that should be taken. First of all, since convenience refers to how comfortable the digital wallet users are, the banks and e-wallets app developers should provide a system that is simple and easy to use to gain interest among students to use e-wallet. Meanwhile, lifestyle compatibility is the tendency to use cashless payment methods in daily life. Therefore, the shops and stalls around UiTM Kedah should provide cashless payment methods to the customers. Besides, the closest people with the students are their peers and friends. Therefore, the peers can encourage the usage of e-wallet by teaching them how to use it, so they will realize the advantages of using cashless transaction instead of cash. All in all, this research and study has improved the understanding in determining the relationship between convenience, security level, social influences, and lifestyle compatibility with the use of cashless payment methods among students at UiTM Kedah. According to the hypothesis and analysis, the examination towards all 4 hypotheses shows that only 2 out of 4 factors, which are level of security and social influences, have a significant influence towards the implementation of cashless payment methods among students at UiTM Kedah. The dependent variable has insignificant relationship with convenience and lifestyle compatibility. Thus, it indicates that the first and fourth research objective are not achieved, while second and third research objective are achieved. In addition, the conceptual framework has been constructed based on our analysis from the previous studies by academic researchers. The quantitative method has been used in this research. Furthermore, questionnaire was conducted online using Google Forms and the result gained being analyzed using the 3 phases analysis in SPSS. That's all from us. Thank you.